Hi, I'm Kristin Omdahl, and in this video, I'm going to show you how to knit the various stitch patterns in the beautiful Terra Knit Lace Sampler Vest pattern. Let's get started. Our first lace stitch pattern is worked over a multiple of 10 plus 1 stitches, and it's a repeat of 4 rows. I'm giving you this information in case you want to use it separately from the sampler vest. Okay, so let me show you how to work the stitch pattern now. We're going to start with in the pattern, I do make a note that I like to slip the first stitch of each row. This is optional. You can knit it if you don't want to slip it on the right side, and you can purl it if you don't want to slip it on the wrong side. So we're going to slip 1 stitch, which would be considered the first knit 1. And then the repeat is yarn over, slip, slip, knit, yarn over, slip, slip, knit, knit 1, knit 2 together, yarn over, knit 2 together, yarn over, and knit 1. And you want to repeat that all the way across. Okay, and that's our first right side row. Our first wrong side row is simply to purl across, but again, because I'm slipping the first stitch of each row, I'm going to slip the first stitch and then purl across the remainder of the row. Keep in mind that each of the stitches and each of the yarn overs are all counted as a stitch. You're going to purl each one across. Okay, now we're ready to begin our second right side row, which starts with a knit 2, and because I'm slipping the first stitch, I'm going to slip 1, knit 1, but that would be the equivalent of a knit 2. Then it's yarn over, slip, slip, knit, then it's yarn over S2KP. It's a double decrease. It has a perfectly vertical, no right or left leaning. Yarn over, slip the next 2 stitches knitwise together, knit the next stitch, yarn over, pull both slip stitches up and over the knit stitch and off the needle for a vertical double decrease. Yarn over, knit 2 together, yarn over, knit 3. Our repeat for this row starts after the knit 2. It's yarn over, slip, slip, knit, yarn over, S2KP, yarn over, knit 2 together, yarn over, knit 3. You want to repeat that all the way across, except on the last repeat, omit the last knit stitch. So it'll be yarn up. So now we're at the last repeat. It's yarn over, slip, slip, knit, yarn over, S2KP, yarn over, knit 2 together. And unlike all the other repeats that were yarn over knit 3 at the end of the repeat, the last one is yarn over knit 2. Okay, and then our second wrong side row is the same as our first wrong side row. We're going to purl all the way across where I'm slipping the first stitch and then purling all the way across. And that completes the 4-row repeat of our first lace stitch pattern. Okay, and this is what your first lace stitch pattern should look like. You want to repeat those 4 rows for your desired length or follow the pattern for the specific number of repeats we do for this particular sampler vest. But if you're wanting to do this stitch pattern on its own, just remember it's a multiple of 10 plus 1 stitches and a 4-row repeat. You want to knit 4 rows now after you've done this section, and then I'll show you how to do the second lace stitch pattern. The second lace stitch pattern is a multiple of 6 stitches plus 5, and it is also worked over a 4-row repeat, just like the first lace stitch pattern. Let me show you how to do these 4 rows. We're also going to be slipping the first stitch at the end of each row, or at the beginning of each row, just because that's my preference in this pattern, but you do not have to do that. So the first wrong side row is to purl all the way across. I'm going to slip my first stitch and then purl across the row. And then our second row, or first right side row, starts with a knit 3, and I'm just going to slip the first stitch because that's what I've been doing. So it's slip 1, knit 2, or just simply knit 3. And then our repeat is yarn over, knit 3 together, yarn over, knit 3. And you want to repeat that all the way across. And at the end of the last repeat, there should be 2 extra stitches left at the end of the row. You want to knit those 2 stitches. And then we'll turn our work. And our second wrong side row is going to be to purl across. And again, I'll be slipping the first stitch. That is optional. And purl across. Then our second right side row, or row 4, is going to begin with a knit 3, which I'll be doing as a slip 1, knit 2. And then our repeat is knit 3, yarn over, knit 3 together, yarn over. Do that again, knit 3, yarn over, knit 3 together, yarn over. You want to repeat this all the way across. At the end of the last repeat, you should have 2 stitches left. You want to knit those 2 stitches. And this is what your second lace stitch pattern should look like. It is a multiple of 6 stitches plus 5, and it is a 4-row repeat. You want to repeat those 4 rows for your desired length, or if you're working the pattern exactly as written, you'll want to repeat those 4 rows as many times as is specified in the pattern. Then knit 4 rows for another garter stitch band like this, and then I'll show you how to make the third lace stitch pattern. This is the third stitch pattern in our knit sampler vest, and it is worked over any odd number of stitches, and it is also worked over 4 rows, just like the 2 other previous lace stitch patterns. So we'll begin on the wrong side with purl across, and I'll be working my first stitch as a slip stitch, but that's my preference. You don't have to. And so row 1, or our first wrong side row, is to purl across. And then row 2, or our first right side row, begins with a knit 1, which I'm going to slip, but you can also just knit it. And our repeat for this row is yarn over, knit 2 together. And you want to repeat yarn over, knit 2 together all the way across the row. And then we're going to turn our work, and row 3, or our second wrong side row, is to purl across. and turn our work. And then row 4, which is also our second right side row, is going to begin with a slip slip knit and yarn over. Our repeat for this row is slip slip knit and yarn over. Notice how the sequence of where the stitch and where the yarn over is reversed from our first right side row to our second right side row. It's important to remember that on our first repeat, the yarn over is in the beginning of the repeat, and on this second one, the yarn over is at the end of the repeat. Because remembering where the yarn over is in comparison to the decrease stitch is going to make a difference in how you end the row. And if you do it the wrong way, you could possibly decrease or increase your stitch count by mistake at the end of either of these rows. So for the first row, it's knit 1, then the repeat is yarn over, knit 2 together across. And on this second repeat, it's slip, slip, knit, yarn over, and repeat that all the way across to the last stitch, and then knit 1. Okay, and that's the 4-row repeat for our third lace stitch pattern. You want to repeat those 4 rows to your desired length if you're making something else, or if you're making the sampler vest, you want to make sure you follow the pattern to see how many times you repeat these 4 rows. Then finish off with 4 knit rows to do another garter band. The pattern will show you how to bind off and cast on for the back gusset and doing the second half of the vest. And then in the next video, I'm going to show you how we pick up and knit along this side edge here to work our 4th stitch pattern.